Living in a big city, you get used to late-night commutes. But one night, I took a train that wasn't supposed to exist, and now, I don't know if I ever really got off. It was past midnight, and the subway station was nearly empty. I was heading home after a long shift when I noticed an old train pulling in. It wasn't the usual modern one, this one looked ancient, its metal rusted, windows fogged up. The destination sign simply read, "Last stop." I hesitated, but the doors slid open with a slow hiss. Inside, the air was stale, thick with the scent of dust and something rotten. The seats were made of old, cracked leather, and the overhead lights flickered erratically. The few passengers inside sat unnaturally still, their heads slightly bowed, faces obscured by shadows. I sat down near the door, gripping my phone. No signal. The train moved, too fast, faster than any subway should. The lights in the tunnel outside blurred, stretching unnaturally long. Minutes passed. Then, something strange happened. The stations we passed were unfamiliar. Not just new, wrong. The walls were covered in faded, peeling posters from decades ago. The names on the signs were in a language I didn't recognize. At one stop, I saw an old man standing alone on the platform. He turned his head slowly, locking eyes with me. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. I jumped up and pressed the emergency stop button. Nothing happened. I moved to another car, but the passengers remained the same, motionless, heads down. I reached for one man's shoulder and gently shook him. His head rolled to the side. His eyes were missing. I stumbled back as the train speaker crackled to life. A distorted voice whispered, "Next stop, nowhere." The train plunged into darkness. When the lights flickered back on, the seats were empty. The passengers were gone. The doors finally opened. I ran out onto the platform, gasping for air. But something was wrong. The station was abandoned, the air thick with dust. I turned and saw the name on the wall, faded and barely readable, closed since 1948. I ran up the stairs, desperate to escape. But when I emerged, I wasn't in my city anymore. The streets were quiet, lined with old buildings from another era. Streetlights buzzed weakly. The newspaper stand nearby had headlines from the 1940s. Then, I heard it, the distant, slow screech of a train pulling in. The same train. And I swear, I saw myself inside, watching, waiting.